I've always had a strange obsession for coffee. I'm not sure why, but I think it's the warm feeling of hot liquid going down my throat and into my stomach. I think it's the fact that it warms me right to the bone. Moving on, however, I sat at the table drinking my cup of coffee. God, I love my job, I thought to myself with a grin on my face and a cup of coffee in my right hand. I glanced across the table to my friend. If you're not going to drink your coffee, then why'd you ask me to make you some? He kept a silent, blank look in his eyes and stared at me. I shrugged. More for me. I reached across the table and slid the mug of coffee in front of me. I took one more long sip of my own cup, finishing off in one large gulp. I returned to the paper in front of me, sketching a few things, while moving on to the cup I had taken from him. I yawned deeply into my left sleeve, pausing my writing only for that. I frowned when I looked back at my friend. David was his name, from what I recall. I went over to the TV in the kitchen, listening to the news anchor with breaking news. This just in! Yet another body has been found. I frowned. The body was found late last night, flowing in the Little River. It has multiple lacerations, had word fear with the number 3 replacing the E carved into its stomach. Police are yet to let out any further information. This has been Action News reporting to you live. I sighed after the newscast ended and looked over at David a bit tiredly. It appears that they've found my work, David, and now it's only a matter of time till they will find you. I got up and walked over to the lifeless, pale body. It had a smooth laceration, nearly surgical, along the throat area, severing the carotid artery. I peeled his shirt off his body while sliding the butcher knife out of one of the nearby drawers. I then slid my gas mask on. I brought the knife upon his stomach, beginning to carve "the" into his stomach. His warm blood splattered along my shirt as I severed multiple veins, and I couldn't help thinking of hot coffee. Gloves had blood painted on them when I stabbed the butcher knife into the wooden table, letting it stick. I adjusted my mask in my gloved hand and made my way over to the back door. I sprinted into the woods behind his house while reaching for my cell phone. I dialed 911, having just thought of a marvelous plan. 911, what is your emergency? I responded in my tired voice, Yes, I'd like to report a murder. Okay, where has this murder taken place, sir? I laughed. What? What would be the fun in that? I turned around and whipped my phone towards the house. It wasn't far, so it only hit the grass in the backyard when I turned around and ran through the trees. The next day, I drove by the house. The cops were still there, examining the crime scene further for God knows what reason. They'd be looking for me now, but that would just add to the fun of it all. God, I love my job, I thought to myself as I drove off towards the highway to get out of this place. For now.